Hi everyone. So this is the top panel uh, of the TV unit. So there is going to be another top panel that will be attached on this smaller panel. But I want to plane this thing, uh, slowly work on it. This is, by the way, the bottom part. I want to start with the bottom. So basically the lower side of this top panel. The reason the only reason I'm starting with this one is that after, like, I'll do some rough dimensioning or like rough planing of this one, and then I will put it back on its side and work mostly on the other side, like to make it more accurate. I don't need this to be the back side to be very accurate, but it needs to be fairly level. That's what I'm aiming from, and this should be my practice before I go to the main thing. I'm just feeling I don't even know like what set my plane has, probably low set. Concentrating on just those glue lines first. And take a deeper set now. It is mostly skipping over the surfaces, but important thing is to get the sometimes I have to do one-handed because I have to hold the sawhorse. I will not go too long on this underside. I'm getting it like fairly even, like removing all the glue marks. Like there is a visible step here. I'm not going to bother like completely bringing that to level. No one is going to look at that unless like when I put it on the TV unit and it's really like imbalanced, then I will come back to this. Even then I will probably try to just plane out the portion that I really need. The top surface is the one that I will almost going across grain here, like slightly skewed. That's really working for me. It may be a good idea to take a smaller plane. Let me try my number 4. Because the larger plane right now, because the surface is so undulating, it's skipping over a lot of places. This plane is like, because it is sharp and it's my smoothing plane, it's really finishing it very well, but I don't need that really on this small surface. What I'm looking at is like fairly even. I may come back to this one later on, but so if I have it like fairly dimensioned so that I can put my layout tools, my squares and straight edge, that's what I'm aiming for, at least like to begin with. I'll start with the bigger sole. that across grain thing, even though it doesn't give the smooth finish, it actually levels all the panels. To the hand it feels more than enough. There was just some very fine glue line which I can come at the end with card scraper if need be, if like so what I'm trying to do, or trying my best to do, is that landing and takeoff technique that Paul teaches. So it's almost always, like most of the times, impractical to take a end-to-end shaving. So I have to start at this point, center, or this way, usually like front or the middle. But the idea is that you land and take off like in small sections to reduce the resistance. So especially in my case where it is not properly secured. So as long as I do that in small portions, it seems to work just fine for me. All the glue marks from this side, this to this, like couple of inches from this side and an inch from this side. Other than that, it's all gone. This one here, there is a little bit, but to the hand it feels I can come back to the remaining like minor cleanup, scraping and all at the end. I'm just trying to use it as a winding stick to see like if there is any visible twist. If it is something minor, I can live with that. It could be like the turn buttons will just press it in. Yeah. Okay, the next thing is I have to make one side plain, probably this side, because it already feels good to the hands, or maybe this side, we'll see. And once I have that, I will just cut it to my length and then see from where there how it goes. Okay, I just decided that like the final like cleanup, like this is looks pretty good, like a bit of scraping and all. I think this is all good, but if there is anything to level or like some final touch up, I will give at the end. This is just too big to manage right now, so I have decided to first cut it down to dimension, like close to dimension, at least like I will keep like an 1/8 of an inch buffer, so that close. So what I have done in the meantime, like before I started my recording, is just I put my knife mark here so that I can saw it. The only thing I did was that I do have a big combination square. Basically it's like a nothing but an attachment that I have. So this is a PEC blemished combination square that I had bought. So I usually like I have like two, so I have on this same head I can attach either of those. So I normally put this 12-inch. So I had got from a website, like these are all blemished, they work perfectly fine. I have a 12-inch starret. I think the quality of starret is like the best. So anyway, so I use this to scribe this knife mark on this side. I'll lower the camera a little bit. It doesn't have to be extremely accurate because it's a tabletop at the end, like, so it's not like a mortise and tenon joinery or anything. But this is one, and on this side same thing, but I have put like two marks because I think I can salvage the other side. I may need it for the some part of it. If it works, I can probably use it for the I think I would need that for like housing the the vertical pieces that fit in the housing dados. So now I will cut these, cross cut these using my 10 TPI Spear and Jackson tenon saw. Sorry, not the tenon saw, Could I use the 10 on saw actually or no? Lot of work. So this is 10 TPI Spear and Jackson saw, which probably came with a hybrid tooth, but I have already filed it to rip tooth. The knife mark should give me a good enough thing, so I will just saw this. Staying away from my knife. I could come from either side to be more accurate, but I don't need that. That is the bottom side in any case. I have a knife wall. I should be fairly accurate. So my main goal is to make sure that this surface is super clean. Have to be a little bit careful here. Slow down. I can probably hold this piece if I can. Almost there. Yeah. That's a fairly accurate cut. Always I like to test this glue strength. Yeah, it didn't break at the glue joint. So normally it happens. So I mean, I will be planing that end grain in any case, but always like to see my accuracy. This is very accurate. It's just that it needs some cleaning. I have to be even more careful here because this is heavy. So it may like break off and split from here. Maybe a good idea to come from this side. Going very slow, I can feel it. Nice. I have my, I'm pretty sure I can salvage a lot of this one. We'll keep it aside. To check again and again. I don't want to go out of square. This looks good. That's it. That's the final thing. You still see a little bit of let me try to break the edges, break the arrays, because I will be handling it and lot of chances that I hit it somewhere and checking like I should be level. There is no reason why I shouldn't be, but not a bad idea to just, yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I've drawn a parallel line. This side I have to take a lot of material. I'll only use my scrub plane. I'm going against the grain, so I'll have to. I'm getting close to that line, and then I will come from the other side. The scrub plane has like removed material rapidly, but as expected it has left the surface quite undulating. But I will get there. Slowly the sound of this plane is like getting more continuous, so that's the good sign that I'm leveling it. Few more shavings to take, but I just want to check like how am I doing as far as this is perfect. This side is like little bit out of level. Lot better now. This is looking very good now. That was a pretty consistent shaving, and I am right on the pencil line, so I'll just break the corners again. Okay. Use this bigger plane. That's it. I'm just breaking the arrises for handling. I still have to work on the end grain, and I don't need a special plane for that. But the fact that I already have a low angle plane, I'll just use that. Like if I put it at the center, there is very less rocking, so I don't have to go back like do any cleanup on the underside. The glue mark, I'm not worried. It's a sign, like lot of like planing I've done, like in future, like 50 years from now, 100 years from now, someone looks and at least like sees that it was like handwork, so hand tools and all, so I'm happy with that. Probably on the top also I may not come with the plane, but maybe I may come with a sharpened plane and just do one final round of like thin cleanup. And definitely I'm coming back with a card scraper. This one, like for example, see there was a spot and that is gone, and this things like that will work, so I have time for that. This is coming good. And by the way, I have also the shorter panel to do. I haven't started that, but I think once this one is done, I have to work first on this one because I have to create turn buttons and attach it, and then I will have to again take it out and work on the, like I have to cut group like dados here, put some like vertical walls, and then the top panel again comes. Like, all right, interesting project. So I came back and I spent a good amount of time, like spent my time like almost 30 minutes sharpening all my bench planes, and except for the wooden plane, I haven't sharpened that. By all my planes, meaning I have a 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, and my Veritas low angle jack plane, because I am working on the top, so this thing is like clearly I need to be careful. So I have to plane this end grain, this side square, my knife mark. I have to keep that in my, so I have to come like almost halfway around, halfway from one side and then from the other side, otherwise this thing is going to break off. I mean, of course, one way is to put a backer board, but this itself is difficult to clamp, so I don't think I can clamp a backer board. Maybe I can put a backer board and clamp it all together. And another like easier technique I believe I could try is just create a small bevel on this side. In any case, I think at the end I am going to create a very small bevel, but I'm a little bit undecided on that, so I'm not putting that bevel. So I have decided to come from both sides. So this is my low angle, freshly sharpened. I'm trying to feel for it. It hit something. I thought like, what was it? So there is a portion here that was hitting. I'm taking very less here. I could easily like creep up, but I'm just trying to be a little bit cautious here. But it's barely like dust. So let me slightly increasing the depth. Wish I could show you. This thing is slowly getting to like with a sharp plane. See this end grain shavings. And show you. So these are my end grain shavings. Like they will just crumble when I touch it. So that's what a sharp plane does. And this level of smoothness, I'm yet to like, I have to take shavings, but eventually everything is going to be this level. So this thing, like I don't think a power miter saw or a table saw can bring it to this level. Not super critical for this to be 90 degrees to my this side, but I need to have something in mind, something. This is smooth and I am looking at my knife wall. I think this side is done. I mean, as expected, this side is showing as higher because I didn't go all the way. So let me try from the other side. I'm putting my feet just below it to prevent this from smashing. Just showing this in. This is like silky smooth. Doesn't even feel like end grain. This looks very square actually. I don't think I need to take any more than this. I want to like slightly break this edge because it's so fragile at this point. I could use a plane, but let me just use some sandpaper just to run over it like this once and twice. The reason being, when you have such a sharp edge, like with, if I twist and turn the board here and there, if it hits any place, like if I hit a corner or hit my bench, it may just break off. You see, this is like super silky smooth. Same thing on the other side. And these planes, the number 5 or a number 4, anything will do this. Low angle probably makes it slightly easier, I think, again on that end grain. But to be frank, like I find it more difficult to sharpen this smaller and thicker plane iron in the Veritas plane when I'm doing freehand sharpening, because I only do freehand sharpening. For some reason, I find it slightly more clumsy and difficult. These planes I can sharpen almost half the time. But once I'm able to sharpen this PMB V11, that blade, it really holds a good edge. Very close. I could stop there. So this thing is done. I think I will just work on the next step, like on the housing dado and all.